CBS 19's Gerardo Martinez.
Gerardo Martinez.
Gerardo Martinez.
Gerardo Martinez.
Gerardo Martinez is live from where it all happened.
Well, it's been a rather quiet afternoon besides the small off and on shower here and there. Last time we checked, there have not been any major road closures or any power outages. But as that weather comes through, that will most likely change over the next 6 hours. Now, police say the suspect jumped out of a moving vehicle and then ran away from the scene. And the woman who lives at this house says that suspect ended up in her backyard. Troopers say that's when the 18-wheeler crashed into this home behind me. The driver of that 18-wheeler and the driver and passenger of the pickup were transported to a local hospital. No word yet on the severity of those injuries, and no charges have been filed since this crash remains under investigation. These canine dogs are trained to attack specific extremities like the legs and the arms. Stella! The new study says that people who use electronic cigarettes as an alternative to traditional cigarettes are actually 28% less likely to stop smoking. It's a probability that some find full of hot air. And this area behind me will soon be unrecognizable. Right now there are plans to bring the restaurant where Orlando's own Miranda Lambert was discovered, plus new concert venues, apartments, a new park, and even possibly a new college campus. 11/22/63 is set to air on Hulu early 2016. So Mike and Nina, if I were you, I'd go ahead and get her autograph now while you still can. Now, if you're interested in fostering or even adopting one of these pets, we'll have a link to all that information on our website, cbs19.tv. And Mike and Jillian, I'm pretty sure I saw some dogs here earlier, each with your name on it. So I'll save you the trip and I'll go ahead and bring them to you. And this report, conducted by the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, found that the Hopkins County Memorial Hospital put their patients in, quote, immediate jeopardy. And now, because they didn't meet some of their standards, the hospital could lose the agreement that allowed patients with the Medicare or Medicaid to be treated.
Here for an ear infection.
1-year-old Lane is one of 2,800 people in Hopkins County that rely on Medicaid or Medicare.
So it's hard to get by with just one person working, so I depend on Medicaid to take care of my kids.
But a survey by the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services found a number of serious problems at the Hopkins County Memorial Hospital, including failing to avoid the possible transmission of diseases, improper sterilization of surgical equipment, and even a lack of proper knowledge in staff about how to sterilize equipment.
In any organization, whether it's a hospital or a business, there are minimum standards that everyone wants to meet. And unfortunately, we're all human and we miss those things.
In a letter sent to the hospital, CMS said their agreement would be terminated by November 6th if the issues weren't resolved.
We obviously went into a mode of how can we remedy this? What do we need to do?
That's why hospital officials met with CMS Tuesday afternoon to work through some of those problems, and that resulted in CMS giving the hospital until November 30th to come up with an action plan to address those problems.
While we wished those things had not happened, it is a learning opportunity for us, and we've got to look at it that way in order for us to be better.
For the Hankins family, it was a decision that meant one less thing to worry about.
I'm scared for my country. I'm scared for the world, actually.
Melissa Silvera is a former foreign exchange student who lived in Sulphur Springs with the host family in 2004. She says she's still having trouble understanding why her home is under siege.
It's hard to believe that we are attacked. Many questions come to my mind, such as are we in war? Because hundreds of people just have been killed few streets away in Paris.
And she's not alone. Lisa Safford and her husband from Bullard were in Paris for a convention for work. Safford says they were just finishing up dinner when chaos ensued.
We had just in the process of walking out when everybody said something had happened very close and to take shelter, go, leave.
But both Safford and Silvera are thankful they are safe and unharmed.
It could be me because they shot people for no reason. It could be any Parisians.
Thank God we're here. It was horrifying. Just have to get down on your knees and pray for people thinking that they're getting massacred.
Safford says with the overwhelming concern from friends and family, she's at a loss for words.
It's made me cry. Just made me cry.
Jessica Roscoe says she was enjoying her quiet Sunday morning at her home on Raj Street. But that silence was quickly shattered by a commotion right outside her window.
I saw this guy come peeling around the corner, and he hit like a mailbox, hit the next mailbox, and then he hit this pole. I don't know if you can see the pole, but he hit the pole and jumped out of his car.
And that car finally coming to a stop after crashing into this home. White House Police Chief Ed Morris says this scene was a result of an attempted traffic stop in White House on Highway 110. Morris says they tried to pull over the driver of a Kia Soul for changing lanes without using his signals. But after the driver didn't pull over, the car chase began. Morris says the driver even struck a Smith County Sheriff's Office vehicle and drove off. The suspect then drove into Tyler, coming to Raj Street just off Loop 323. Now, police say the suspect jumped out of a moving vehicle and then ran away from the scene. And the woman who lives at this house says that suspect ended up in her backyard.
I heard a knock at the back door, and there was a guy standing at the back door, and I asked him what he needed, and he was very upset.
Beverly Cashnerland says the man at the door asked her for a phone and a towel to wipe off the blood on his forehead. But when she went back inside her home, she heard the police sirens and put two and two together.
I called the police and said, I think maybe the guy you're looking for is on my back porch, or was just on my back porch.
But when police arrived to her home, the man gone. Neighbors say they are left on edge with the suspect still on the loose.
It just seems like more crime is happening, and when it comes into your own neighborhood, it just makes you concerned, and that's one reason I keep my doors locked.
Gerardo Martinez, CBS 19.